The Boston Marathon Jimmy Fun Walk presented by Hyundai is thrilled to announce our partnership with Charity Miles to bring you the Charity Miles app, a free iPhone and Android app that connects you to the Jimmy Fun Walk your way. Charity Miles is one of the top-rated health and fitness apps and the #1 charity app in the App Store. When we made the decision to host the virtual event, the Charity Miles app became a key component of this year's Jimmy Fun Walk to help bring some of the strong sense of community, inspiration, and connection that we typically experience out on the Boston Marathon course. You can use the app to track your miles, train with friends or teammates, gather donations, and receive important news related to this year's walk. As with anything, we know it takes some time to get used to a new piece of technology, but we really encourage you to download the app, post about it on social, and check out some of the awesome content we'll be sharing. Let's get right into downloading the app. So I personally really encourage you to download the app through one of the links that the Jimmy Fun Walk staff sent out, either through our emails, our email signature, or on the Jimmy Fun Walk website. If you click through to download the app through one of the links that we sent out, trust me, it'll just make it easier when you're trying to get set up. That being said, here I am within my phone at jimmyfundwalk.org. I'm sure you can tell, but I'm using my iPhone. If you're an Android user, the functionality I show within this demo should be very similar, but obviously things are going to look slightly different. Whether you're an Android user or not, please feel free to reach out to your Jimmy Fun Walk staff contact or jimmyfundwalk@gfci.harvard.edu if you'd like a one-on-one walkthrough. The email can be found at the bottom of our website here. Back at the top of the website, I'm clicking Charity Miles app here. Once you select Charity Miles app, you'll be brought to your App Store, and you'll be able to see the Charity Miles app icon, which looks like this. I'm going to click the download button here, and then after a little while, it should load properly. Select Open, and you'll be brought right into the app. The first question you'll receive is whether you'd like to enable GPS in motion right at the beginning of downloading the app, or if you'd like to be asked again later. I advise that you allow GPS in motion to start. It's much easier than having to try to reverse the settings later on. You'll get another pop-up just confirming that you'd like Charity Miles to be able to access your motion and fitness. Here you'll start to receive some welcome communications. You'll see right off the bat that by clicking through the link on our Jimmy Fun Walk website, Charity Miles recognizes that you're going to support the Jimmy Fun Walk and Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. This next question is if you're a new or a returning user. This specifically applies to the Charity Miles app. So if you're like me and you've never used the Charity Miles app before, select New here. We assume that that's what most of our walkers are going to be selecting. So I am all set. And here I can enter some basic information like my username, email, and password. And then once I'm all set, I can click Sign Up. You will again start to receive some welcome communication. The first question is if you'd like to enable notifications. Personally, I'm going to allow push notifications as recommended here. You'll see later on, these notifications do come in handy. You'll get one more confirmation screen. And then click Continue. You'll again be brought to the Charity Miles app here. The pedometer is a huge aspect of the Charity Miles app, and we definitely recommend you allow this function. Next is the Health app. You'll see more later on, but the Health app is really integral to the Charity Miles app. Basically, Charity Miles is asking to be able to access some of your health data, including cycling distance, steps, and walking and running distance. I'm going to turn all categories on and you'll see the green toggles move over just to make sure that they have access to everything. Now you're all set and you're in the Charity Miles app. I'm going to test out the functionality over the next few weeks or so, and I'll come back with demos later on all the different functions of the wonderful Charity Miles app. I hope you'll join me. The first thing we'll go over is the homepage, which is this icon on the far left here. Every time you open the Charity Miles app, you will see this page. This page is only going to be visible to you. The first thing I wanted to point out is the steps. This is basically how many steps your phone's internal pedometer has logged for the day. I know a few years ago the magic goal for steps per day became about 10,000. Now I definitely don't hit that myself, but just wanted to provide some context. If you do aim for the 10,000 steps per day, this is where you would try to notice that within the Charity Miles app. For iPhones, this steps stat is pulling from data from your Apple Health Kit, which looks like this. You can see the steps count matches here. If you never allowed your health kit to track your steps before, or are having some issues with the steps on your Charity Miles app showing 0, be sure to check your privacy settings for your health kit specifically. One thing to note with the iPhone health kit and this step statistic is that you have to have your phone on you and on while you walk for the steps to be counted. You can have your phone in a backpack, have it locked, but you have to physically be holding your phone in order for the steps to count. This definitely makes sense if you think about it. If you're out for a walk but your phone is sitting at home on your dresser, there's no way for the internal pedometer and the sensors there to track how many steps you're taking. In addition, in order for Charity Miles to pull your steps from the health kit, you have to open the Charity Miles app at least once a day. Luckily, if you allow notifications when you're downloading the app, you'll receive some pings occasionally reminding you to open it once a day. Opening the app once every day is definitely important if you're the competitive type and want to make sure your steps are accurately represented. The streak statistic below this is also related to opening the app. This is basically how many days you've opened the app and successfully synced either your steps or your logged activities, which we'll go over later. You'll notice some additional features here we'll go over in a few moments, but I hope this helps with the homepage. The next tab over is the Content Hub. This is something that we were really excited about when we moved to the Jimmy Fun Walk Your Way. The Content Hub is where we'll be sharing Dana-Farber and Jimmy Fun content all summer long. You can see we have some items in the Content Hub already, including our first ever podcast, and you can click through the links to learn more. One of the main tips we have here is to make sure your app is always up to date. If you ever get a notification from the App Store saying, Charity Miles has released a new update, please be sure to allow the update to make sure the Content Hub and other parts of the Charity Miles app are up to date. Another best practice is to close out of the Charity Miles app every once in a while. If you're like me, I usually have a bunch of tabs open and forget to close them out on my phone, but occasionally closing out of the Charity Miles app like I'm doing here will help make sure that everything runs smoothly. I hope you find some inspiring content here and enjoy this feature as much as I do. The middle tab is the activity logger. You can see there are several options here, including outdoor run, indoor walk, outdoor bike, and more. Depending on what activity you choose, Charity Miles will either more closely tune into the pedometer on your phone that we talked about earlier, or your phone's GPS location. For example, if you're doing an indoor walk or run, you're really going to be staying in the same general area on whatever treadmill you may be using, so GPS tracking wouldn't work. Instead, if you're logging an indoor walk or run on a treadmill, you should either hold your phone in your hand or put it in your pocket so Charity Miles can again track the activity through that pedometer sensor within your phone. On the other hand, if you're doing an outdoor walk, run, or bike, Charity Miles will tune into your GPS location to track your activity. If you notice that an exercise that you're trying to do isn't available, Charity Miles recommends selecting the exercise that's most similar. So for example, if you're going to hop on the elliptical, you could select indoor walk or run. I'm going to do an indoor walk for this example. You can just click your activity here, and the timer will start. You can see how many miles you've gone, your miles per hour, and if you scroll, you can also see that we have tons of awesome content here. Before I get going, I wanted to advise you to take a photo for each activity you log, and you'll see why later. I'll be right back to show you how to finish logging your activity. So I just went for a very quick indoor walk around my apartment, and I'm going to click Finish Workout. You have to log at least 1/10 of a mile for the activity to count. If you accidentally hit Finish and didn't mean to, you can just click Continue here. In this case, I'm all set, so I'm going to hit Finish. You'll be brought to this screen where you can click on any of these icons to share your activity on social media. I'm going to share on my Facebook. I have tested this before, but if you get any pop-ups that say, Charity Miles would like to access Facebook, please be sure to allow. I wanted to go to my Facebook newsfeed because that's more permanent, so I'm going to click that. If you just want to promote that you're walking, you can click Post on the upper right hand here, but we would much rather prefer that you write a few sentences here, maybe about why you're walking, and link to your Jimmy Fun Walk fundraising page. I conveniently already have my fundraising page open in a browser on my phone here. You can just copy and paste the long link at the top of the web page, or if you haven't yet, you can actually personalize your link within your participant center and make the URL shorter and easier to remember. If you're not sure how to personalize the link to your fundraising page, you can reach out to your Jimmy Fund Walk staff contact. For me, I'm going to add something like I'm participating in the Jimmy Fund Walk Your Way for all of the patients at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. If you'd like to make a gift, please visit danafarber.jimmyfund.org/go-to/Carolyn Procknell. And I'm also going to add the hashtag Jimmy Fund Walk. Now I post it and I'm all set. There is obviously a lot more functionality here that I'm not going to go over, but it's a very similar process and we hope you enjoy it. To close out of the activity that you tracked, you can click Done and then Sure. I hope that overview of logging activity comes in handy. Happy walking. Next up is the fourth tab, the Teams page. This is personally something I think is incredibly cool. If you downloaded the app through one of the links on the Jimmy Fun Walk website or in one of our emails, you should have automatically been prompted to join the Jimmy Fun Walk team, like I have here. If for some reason you didn't automatically join the Jimmy Fun Walk team, you can do so by searching Jimmy Fun Walk here. Once you're all set, click Jimmy Fun Walk. This team section shows all of the members that are currently part of the Jimmy Fun Walk team. So we have over 340 people on the Jimmy Fun Walk team, and they've logged over 25,000 miles, including some miscellaneous steps and everyone's logged activities. There's lots of cool data down here that shows how much all of us have logged over the past few days and is definitely inspiring. A really fun feature of the Teams page is the leaderboard, which you can click on here. Once you're in the leaderboard, you can see all of the people who are on the Jimmy Fun Walk team within Charity Miles, and it sorts by miles logged. Great, again, if you have a competitive streak in you. Something to note is that your miles will only start updating within the leaderboard after you've joined the Jimmy Fun Walk team within the Charity Miles app. So if you had 5 miles logged after the first day of using the app, you watch this video and realize, oh no, I still have to join the Jimmy Fun Walk team, those 5 miles won't be reflected here. The biggest takeaway here is to be sure to tell friends and family to join the Jimmy Fund Walk team within the app as soon as they register for Charity Miles. If I navigate back here, another interesting part of the team section I wanted to show you was this new team function in the upper right-hand corner here. If you want to have all of the functionality within the Teams page that I just showed you, but for a smaller group of friends and family, you can also make your own team. Let's pretend I wanted to make Team Procknell The Jimmy Fun Walk staff is asking all teams be created under the format Jimmy Fun Walk, and then whatever team name you wanted. This will make it easier for friends and family to search for your team and also make it so that the Jimmy Fun Walk staff knows how many people are creating their own teams. For me, I'd write Jimmy Fun Walk, Team Procnol. So my team is all set up, I can tell friends and family about it, and we can be even more connected within the Charity Miles app as a smaller group. There are some editing functions in the top right here, but it's very self-explanatory, so I'm not going to run through it. The biggest thing to note is people can search for your team name here to join. If you have any questions, feel free to let us know. Importantly, you can be in as many teams as you want at once, so you should absolutely make sure you're in the Jimmy Fun Walk team first and foremost, and then if you're interested, you can create a sub-team for yourself. That's the Teams function. I hope it makes you even more motivated to get out there and walk and keeps you feeling connected to this awesome community. The final tab here is the profile page. Through this edit button in the upper right, you can change your photo and some other basic information. You can also see your total miles, which includes your logged activities and any miscellaneous steps you've taken since you selected the Jimmy Fun Walk as your charity within Charity Miles, which most of us did upon downloading the app. Right next to that is total sessions, which includes how many times you've logged either activities or your daily steps since selecting the Jimmy Fun Walk as your charity. Below again is some pretty cool historical data. This page is only visible to you and is actually how we'll be tracking statistics for our Summer Steps Challenge, which UFOS is generously sponsoring. The first challenge is for users to log at least 75 miles on the app by September 1st to receive a Jimmy Fund hat. So you can see I'm at over 43 miles and definitely have a little while to go. In addition, the top 5 people who log the most individual activities by walk day will receive a Jimmy Fun Walk swag box, including a pair of UFOS recovery footwear. This is where the total sessions comes in. The Jimmy Fun Walk staff will get a report that pulls from these 2 areas to determine the winners, so best of luck to everyone. While we're in your profile, I wanted to highlight the settings icon, which has actually been in the top of every tab here. The biggest thing you can navigate to here is the pledge drive. For a long time, walkers have been asking for a way for their supporters to make gifts based off of the miles they've walked. We're excited to say that the pledge function through the Charity Miles app allows us to do this. If you select Pledge Drive, you'll be brought to this screen here. This is mostly just an interactive, high-level example to see how pledges within the Charity Miles app work. You can estimate how many miles you think you'd walk, how many cents you think you would receive per mile, and you're able to estimate how many people you think will make this commitment to your walk. The lowest mileage setting in this example is 50 miles, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to assume most people will choose to pledge 50 cents per mile. I think I could convince maybe 10 people to make a pledge like this, so hopefully when I reach my milestone, I'd be receiving a total of $250. Again, this is just a high-level example, and it doesn't really hold you to anything, but it's just fun to kind of play around with. To actually start my pledge campaign, I'm going to click Sign Me Up. For how many miles you will walk, run, or bike, this is where you can enter something lower than 50 miles if you'd like, but I'm going to go ahead and be hopeful and use 50 miles. The When do you want to reach your goal section is very much up to you, but I'm going to use Walk Day, Sunday, October 4th, 2020. Yes, the Jimmy Fun Walk is the charity I want to receive pledges for. Sure, I will use the profile picture as the cover photo for my pledge page. And then I'm going to enter the email I used to register for Charity Miles as the email that's best for my pledge info. So for me, it's Carolyn_Procnol@dfci.harvard.edu. If you navigate back to your settings through the upper right-hand corner here and click Pledge Drive again, you can see the information I set up and confirm everything looks right. The most important step is to link to your personal fundraising page for the walk here. Mine is danafarber.jimmyfund.org/go-to/Carolyn Procknell. This way, anyone who commits to a pledge will be sent an email which says something like, "Thank you so much for your pledge. If you'd like to make the gift now, please do so here," and it will link to the correct fundraising page. If you click View Pledge Page, you can see what it would look like for potential supporters. They can see how many miles I've completed, what my goal is, and decide how many cents they want to pledge per mile. You'll see my pledge is showing 0 miles. Although I've had the Charity Miles app for a while now, I just started this pledge. From now on is when any miscellaneous steps or activities I log will be counted for the pledge drive. Come October 4th, when I hopefully reach my 50 miles, anyone who signed up to make a pledge for me through the Charity Miles app will receive an email that says something like, "Carolyn hit her 50 miles. Please fulfill your pledge by making a donation through this link, which will be your fundraising page." Since people would theoretically be committing to make a gift off of my original goal of 50 miles, I want to point out that you cannot change your mileage goal after you started your pledge campaign. So if, for example, someone committed to 50 cents per mile for my 50-mile pledge, but then I decided to do something crazy like 200 miles, that's just not really fair for your supporter because the gift that they would be making would be much higher. Just something to keep in mind. I'm going to navigate back to the Charity Miles app and the home screen. If you're really excited about this type of giving, you can share your pledge link through the home page, the first tab on the far left here, by clicking Get Pledges. You can see you can share your pledge link via text, email, and on social media. If you remember to back when we were finishing logging our activity and I chose to post on my Facebook, I decided to just simply link to my personal fundraising page. But you can also choose to share your pledge link as well after you're finishing up activities. It's really whatever is most convenient for you. If the entire pledge function within the Charity Miles app seems a little complicated and you'd prefer to fundraise through your traditional means, absolutely no worries whatsoever. You do not need to set up a pledge to use the Charity Miles app, and it's really just an extra resource. Related to the pledge function are these two stats up here, which again are on every tab and some people have been curious about. This pledges stat is if you decided to set up a pledge drive through the Charity Miles app and have gotten any commitments. So currently, you just saw me start my pledge drive a few moments ago. I haven't shared it with anybody and I haven't gotten any commitments, which is why my pledge drive is showing $0. Similarly, this all stat shows the pledges committed to everyone who is using the Charity Miles app on behalf of the Jimmy Fund Walk. So clearly some of your fellow walkers are using this pledge drive function and are having some pretty good success. So thank you to everyone. Navigating back to the settings page, I wanted to highlight something for those of you that have previously used the Strava app to track your everyday exercises. You'll see here you can also connect Strava to Charity Miles. For those of you that aren't that familiar with Strava, it basically helps other fitness devices like Fitbit, Peloton, and Garmin send their data to Strava and other apps similar to Charity Miles. I'm not going to go through this pairing step by step, since I think most people that are using Strava are already experts with it at this point, but please feel free to reach out with any questions. The final section I wanted to show you in the settings is the Help section here. If you have any questions on how to download the app or use the app, obviously feel free to reach out to your Jimmy Fund Walk staff contact. But if you're having severe technical glitches, there's lots of helpful background information here we definitely advise you to take a look at. In addition, the Charity Miles support team also has a goal to respond to any customer service inquiries within 24 hours. You can log a ticket here, or they can be reached at support@charitymiles.org. I know this was a lot today, but I hope you found the demo helpful and are as excited about this year's Jimmy Fund Walk your way as we are. Thank you so much for your ongoing commitment to Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and the Jimmy Fund. As Charity Miles says, every mile counts. I hope you'll join me together, wherever, whenever against cancer.